Hello, beautiful Jenny. I'm super excited. I've completed your Akashic Reading and Clearing, Level 1. Awesome. Got some great information to share with you. Now, the first thing that we're going to go over is your soul profile, okay? And it is a lot of information, so I will be reading some of it just because I don't like to leave anything out. All right, so the first thing, of course, you are divine masculine energy, which we've already uncovered that, right? Now, there's a really big reason why you resonate so much with me. We have the same primary gift, and we also come from the same soul family. So we're like soul sisters. All right. So your primary gift is the seventh energy center, the crown chakra, and it's called divine power. This is the energy center of divine power, which we access through free will and choice. This energy center is about doing and being whatever we want without limitation. Having freedom of choice is incredibly important to them, and a sense of freedom is one of their most important values. They are highly energetically sensitive and have an innate understanding of energy. This may be very intuitive or psychic, but also can be introverted because being around people and their noisy energy all day is exhausting. They manifest extremely quickly and powerfully. This means that when aligned, now remember you did your Divine Soul Blueprint activation, so you're going to come into alignment with your original blueprint. It's going to be huge for you, okay? 'Cause I don't even think you're expressing your primary gift at all, okay? So definitely super excited for you. So this information may not even resonate to you yet, okay? Let's see. However, this means that when aligned, they create results very quickly. However, when they are in misalignment, they also very powerfully manifest a whole bunch of nothing. Been there, done that. They must learn to take the immediate feedback they receive from their results. Things will not get better eventually. They are highly independent and strong-willed. They hate being stuck in situations where they feel they have no choice. They take action more easily than most because they understand that only choice creates new experience. They can, however, get stuck in being busy rather than productive. They embrace change more readily than most people and can become the driving force behind the change and create what they want consciously. They love tools and learning how to use them because each tool represents new possibilities and new choices being available to them. Because they have such a strong desire for self-determination, they do not enjoy being children and not being able to make their own choices. Money is highly important to them because it allows them freedom of choice. They often find success in leadership positions. They have a lot of energy, and their strong will often make them charismatic and attractive to others. They are willing to stick their necks out and go first. Seventh energy center souls are not risk adverse. They are often more willing to fail than most because they realize that they are always empowered to correct their mistakes down the road. This means they often do best as entrepreneurs. This also gives them more opportunity to live as they choose. The negative polarity of this energy center is obligation. Whenever these souls feel like they have to or should, and they don't have freedom of choice, they must address or eliminate those situations and relationships. Instead of eliminating obligation, they may actually take on more responsibility so that they can do things their own way. They are high energy people who can take on a lot, including responsibilities that aren't even their own. If they continue to tolerate obligation, They will become resentful over their lack of freedom and independence. When they are accountable to too many other people, they will find themselves frustrated with the pace of others who don't take action fast enough for them. They will be resentful of people taking up their time, which is another form of freedom. Their gift of energetic sensitivity will feel like a burden and cause them to become reclusive. If they become overloaded enough, they will engage with the dysfunctional aspect of this energy center, which is possibility paralysis. Rather than making more choices and putting still more responsibilities and obligations on their own plates, they will get stuck in endlessly exploring possibilities. They will endlessly explore new tools, new knowledge, etc., for the sake of creating more and more possibilities in their lives without actually moving forward into any of them. They will get stuck in indecision, but their form of indecision can look very busy. They can even rationalize why they need yet another piece of software or tool or training before they can finally move forward. Meanwhile, they are actually just spinning their wheels and not creating any new results. Now, also, too, with the Divine Soul Blueprint activation, it's going to bring you into alignment with all of your gifts and make them all equally powerful. Also, too, it'll keep you from falling into the negative polarity of the energy centers and the dysfunctional aspect. Awesome. All right, the next thing we're going to go over is, where does your soul come from? Where did your soul come from? All right, and I do tend to attract a lot of Mintakans. We're both Mintakans because Mintakans like to be around other Mintakans. It's kind of cool, huh? All right, so we come from a planet called Mintaka. We are star seeds. Mintaka is located in the constellation of Orion, and most Mintakans will recognize this constellation and constantly look at it in the night sky. Mintaka was a water world and a utopian civilization where no one made conscious negative choices. Mintakans have a very hard time with the amount of willful negativity on our planet. They do not understand choices to go to war, to hurt others, to lie, or be mean. Their great gift is to see only the positive potential in others, and this makes us feel extremely good about ourselves. Mintakans often have rose-colored glasses on. They focus on the positive side of life. The glass is always half full, and every cloud has a silver lining. They are often completely blindsided by other people's choices for negativity. They simply don't understand these choices. Mintakans do not have the capacity to make conscious negative choices. If they know it's wrong, they can't do it. Mintakans tend to invest themselves heavily in other people's potential. They usually are everyone's cheerleader and the person others turn to when they need to feel good about themselves. Mintakans need to develop greater discernment between someone's potential and the truth of who they actually are, as evidenced by their choices and current consequences. Mintakans have a tendency to take on people as projects. This is especially true of Mintakans in romantic relationships. They tend to pick partners based on who that partner wants to become rather than who they are. Mintakans tend to overestimate others. Most people never actually step into their potential. They just enjoy being in the energy of someone who upholds it for them. Mintakans can end up highly disillusioned and disappointed by others. They give people 4, 5, or even 6 chances, even when they are being heavily taken advantage of, because they don't expect negative choices from others. They must focus on embracing their own potential and actually leverage their ability to uplift others and bring out the best of them in a way that serves the Mintakan rather than exhausts them. Mintakans have an odd relationship with water. They will love being around it and in it. But some Mintakans don't like dark water, such as the ocean or a lake. On their homeworld, sun filtered through to the bottom of the ocean. Water is a very healing element for Mintakans, although being near it often fulfills that purpose. Because their homeworld is no longer inhabitable, Mintakans often feel a strange, sad longing for home. They love working from home and tend to be nesters. So definitely, with us having those things in common, we definitely resonate with each other, which is awesome. All right, so the next thing we're going to discuss is your current soul vibration rate. And this is where your higher self is currently vibrating at a 5.1. So you just crossed into the 5th dimension. So every time your higher self crosses into a new dimension, you gain new levels of awareness, new levels of consciousness, new downloads. Also, too, you gain new aspects of yourself to have the human experience with. So, awesome job. You're definitely going to feel this work, okay? Now, also, too, you currently do not have any spheres of protection. So definitely we've restored those. We placed them right outside your energetic aura. Okay? So you might feel just kind of fuzzy, but it'll feel good. All right, there are some mystery schools that you can Google. Read the core principles of the mystery school. Take what resonates and toss the rest, okay? One is Minoan. Minoan. Ancient Egypt and Zen Buddhism. Okay, now the next thing we're going to discuss is about praying, setting intentions, setting goals, meditating. Every time you do these actions, you attract energetic orbs. The first ones you start attracting are called white lights. They would be like radio towers, all right? Where you pray, you set an intention, you set a goal, and it sends it out over the towers and into the universe. Now, once you attract the maximum white lights, then you start attracting blue lights. And those are like satellites. So it goes through the white lights into the blue light, so it just amplifies. It creates that manifestation network. Now, you currently do have the maximum white lights, which are 30. Now, just keep setting those intentions, goals, praying, meditating. You're going to start attracting blue lights, right? So just keep doing those actions. You currently don't have any blue lights, but I know for certain you're going to start attracting them, okay? Awesome. Now, you currently have 5 spirit guides in your inner spirit guide circle. Now, these are the spirit guides that are with you 24/7. Now, they're all positive, so awesome. All right, so that is the soul profile. Now, the next thing that we're going to go over is the actual soul realignment. What energies we cleared. And then, because it's level 1, it's always past life. Okay, so there's always a story. What happened? So we don't go over all the blocks because there's just too many. We cleared thousands in this first reading, and that would take up way too much time, not to mention it's too boring. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read over the energies that created the blocks. Okay. Now, there's certain blocks that are created through energetic exchange. Even though we clear thousands of them in this first reading. There's only a few that are kind of denser that are created through energetic exchange. So it's usually something that was dramatic or traumatic, or something happened in a past life that created these energetic blocks in your Akashic record. And this is so powerful that we can actually do this work at the physical level now. We can't clear everything because we will shift vibrationally in the physical. So if we were to clear everything, it would be way too traumatic, not to mention ultimately detrimental. Okay, so we can only clear what we're comfortable with clearing. Now, as you get into level 2 and level 3 readings, they're very boring readings. But we do go over the blocks, okay? However, as you go along, if more level 1 blocks come up, you know, there's always a story. Now, your next reading and clearings are based on the time between your reading and clearings. So let's say 1 month would be $22.22. 2 months is $33.33, and so on and so on. But you will intuitively feel when you need more clearing work. So don't stress about it, okay? Now these are the energies that were behind the blocks that were created in this particular lifetime. Not this lifetime, but the past life. Chaos, dependence, confusion, judgment, isolation, and doubt. Now, what happened in this past life? So it is more about just bringing that awareness into your consciousness, okay? Now, it takes about 14 to 21 days to ground the clearing. So you will be shifting, all right? So, you know, you might be triggering some people, all right? So when that happens, just try to relax, be kind, don't react, right? Because that'll definitely straighten itself out, okay? So don't worry. All right, now in this particular lifetime, it occurred 263 lifetimes ago. That's not years, that's lifetimes. Now in this lifetime, now I write all this out, okay? A lot of prep work goes into these readings. In this lifetime, you were born in Egypt and you incarnated as a man. This was a turbulent time in Egypt's history. The Pharaoh at the time was abusing his authority, and he was killing massive amounts of Hebrew slaves just for the fun of it. No particular reason, just because he could. Now, you were a general in the Pharaoh's army, and you were horrified, being him and talking, you were horrified by the Pharaoh's bloodlust. So you started secretly helping Hebrews escape. You helped thousands of Hebrew slaves escape. You begin, after a while, you started to get nervous, right? Because you knew what the Pharaoh would do to your family if he caught you, right? He knew something was happening, but you just kind of got a little nervous and thought, oh my goodness, what if he finds out, right? What is he going to do to my family? You had a wife and children, and now you begin to fear the safety of your family. So eventually, you just went with the Hebrews and made it look like you actually drowned in the Nile River, because the Nile would go up and down and it would get really strong, almost like a hurricane or a tornado. So it would be really hard for someone to try to find you. Like it would come up and go down very rapidly. So you timed it just right. So when it went up, it looked like you drowned. You know, you may have left your horse there or whatever. You left something ashore so that people would think, oh, the river killed him. drowned. Yes, all right. And your family was safe. No one suspected anything. However, you mourned the loss of them, never getting to see them again. It was so sad. Now, I know that this wasn't like extremely traumatic, but that mourning, that separation, having to walk away to protect them, right? Now, all of these blocks have been cleared, so there's not any specific homework for you other than Google the mystery schools, read over the key principles. It doesn't mean that you need to go out and find a church that practices these mystery schools. Just Google it, read over it, and then I would do that once a week for the next 3 weeks. Much love. And if you have any questions, just email me.